Jesus never said that he came to abolish the law. In Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 5 verse 17 to 20, Jesus directly addressed this issue. Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. For truly I tell you, until heaven and earth disappear, not the smallest letter, not the least stroke of a pen, will by any means disappear from the law until everything is accomplished. Therefore anyone who sets aside one of the least of these commands and teaches others accordingly will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever practices and teaches these commands will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I tell you that unless your righteousness surpasses that of the Pharisees and the teachers of the law, you will certainly not enter the kingdom of heaven. In this you can clearly see that Jesus rejected the idea that he came to abolish the law of Moses. Rather, he said that he has come to fulfill it. He clearly says that the law remain in force and warn against relaxing or ignoring even the least of its commandment. Yes, the law is not only applicable, but no one can change even its smallest commandment. If the argument of death and resurrection of Jesus fulfilled the law and there is no more requirement to follow the law, then who will know it best after Jesus? The real apostles of Jesus or Paul, who never met Jesus in his lifetime. Book of Acts, written by Luke, provides the clearest evidence that the apostles of Jesus were following the law of Moses after ascension of Jesus. They were not only following the law of Moses, but were regularly attending prayers in Jerusalem temple and synagogues, and also observing Sabbath and Feast of Pentecost. Even when Paul visited Jerusalem, James, the brother of Jesus and leader of the Jerusalem church, and other elders expressed concern that rumors were spreading that Paul taught Jews to abandon the law. To counter this and show Paul still walked orderly and kept the law, they asked him to join for men completing a Nazirite vow, purify himself with them, and pay for temple offerings. Paul agreed and did so, entering the temple for the purification rites. Then how Christians stopped following the law. They are all changes by Paul which later changed the religion of Jesus. For Gentiles, the apostles explicitly ruled, at the Jerusalem Council, that full law observance was not required. But that was nothing new. Even in the Jewish law, the Gentiles or Noahites doesn't need to follow all the commandments. But this should not change or abolish the law. However, later teachings by Paul and his companion Luke and later church fathers changed everything. Despite Jesus explicitly saying in Sermon on the Mount that anyone who sets aside one of the least of these commands and teaches others accordingly will be called least in the kingdom of heaven, they changed everything. According to Jesus in the gospel, no one has the authority to change it, but they not only changed it but abolished it. They claimed that the apostles of Jesus, especially James, the brother of Jesus, and Peter agreed with them. However, there is no independent source confirming the same except for the writings of Paul and his companion Luke. Even the vision of Peter on kosher laws is not mentioned in any writings of Peter or any other apostle of Jesus, but the writings of Luke, the companion of Paul. We see that Jesus never criticized the law, but he criticized the Pharisees and religious leaders. He never claimed to come to abolish the law, but rather to follow it. He always instructed his followers to follow the law even to its smallest point and warn of those who will set aside the law. Jesus not only followed it till his last moment on earth, but his apostles strictly followed it after him. It's only later teachings of Paul and his companion Luke, with no other independent source apart from them, confirming vision of Jesus to Paul or acceptance of teachings of Paul by apostles of Jesus.